Okay, so we have discussed what is cornea, we have discussed what is iris. Okay, we have discussed what is pupil and eye lens. Okay, so these things we have completed in the last class. So after this, there is one thing here, retina. This part of the eye is known as the retina. Basically, retina, I have told you, is a screen on which the image is formed. Okay, so retina is basically the screen on which the image is formed. So retina, the screen on which image is formed in eye. The screen on which the image is formed. Okay, so basically this is a retina, and I have told you in retina have light sensitive cell. It have light sensitive cell, light sensitive cells, rods and cones, rods and cones. So basically, when the image formed on retina, these cells get activated and process the image. Okay, or you can say convert that image into the electrical signal and send those electrical signal to the brain through the optic nerve. Okay, so this is the retina, and here light sensitive cells get activated, and this is the optic nerve. So through this optic nerve, electrical signals generated by the rods and cones sent to the brain. What does I am writing here for what is rods and cone. Okay, so basically rods are the cells. This is the cell and respond to intensity of light. Intensity of light means this cell gets activated due to the intensity of light, means whether the light is bright or whether the light is dim. What is cone? Respond to, this is a cell, respond to color of light. Okay, so we are able to see the color due to this cones. And what they do, they generate electrical signal, generate electrical signals. Generates electrical signal. Now there is one more thing, ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles. Ciliary muscles. So ciliary muscles, you can see here. These are ciliary muscles. So basically, the function of the ciliary muscle is to change the shape and size of this eyelid. Okay, so according to the action of the ciliary muscle, the shape of the eyelid change. It becomes thick or thin. Okay, so basically, ciliary muscles, you can say focal length of eye length is changed by the action of ciliary muscles. By the action of ciliary muscles. So if the focal length of the lens change, then the power can also be changed. We know that the focal length of the lens is 1 upon power. Okay, or power of the lens is equal to 1 upon focal length. So if focal length will change, then power of the lens will also change. Power of the lens will also change. This thing is a blind spot. This part is a blind spot. The name suggests that the blind spot. This is blind. Blind means this portion where this optic nerve and the retina. You can say this is a junction of this optic nerve and this retina. So at this junction point, there are no light sensitive cells, that is rods and cones. So when the image is formed here, so the person is not able to see because here no light sensitive cells are present. That is why this is known as the optic nerve. So optic nerve, blind spot. Sorry. That is why this is known as the blind spot. Okay. So blind spot. Blind spot. So you can write at junction of optic nerve and retina, there are no light sensitive cells, no light sensitive cell, that is rods and cones, due to which no vision is possible. No vision is possible at that spot. So is this spot is called blind spot. So basically at this blind spot there are no light sensitive cell. So if the image will form here, because of no light sensitive cell, there will be no vision. No vision means, what is the meaning of the vision? Means you are watching some object, means the image of that object is formed and your mind is processing that image, and that is why there is a vision. Okay, so here when the image is formed here, so you cannot see the image. This is the means that there is no vision. So you can write here one point: when the image is formed on the blind spot, this image cannot be seen by eye. Okay, there is one more thing: eyelid. Eyelid. Okay, these are the eyelids. Eyelids means you can say the shutter of the eye. Eyelids like this. These are the eyelids. This is eye, suppose, and these are the eyelids. Okay. So what is the work of the eyelid? Opening and closing of the eye. When you will close your eye, your eyelid is closed. Okay, so basically you can say eyelid is like a shutter. So basically shutter is closed and shutter is open. So eyelid is closed means no light will enter through your eyes. Eyelid is open means light will enter through your eyes, and maybe you will get some vision. Okay. Uh, Now there is one more thing here: aqueous humor. Aqueous humor. In between the eye lens and the cornea are liquid made up of uh, Aqueous means water. Made up of water is here. So basically aqueous humor. The space between the space between cornea and eyelids is filled with watery. Watery means this liquid is made up of water. Watery liquid called aqueous humor. Aqueous means something which is made by water. Okay, something which is made with the help of water or made by water. Like you can say na aqueous solution. For example, aqueous solution. We say na aqueous solution. So in aqueous solution, there is some other material with water. Okay, a solution contain water. In chemistry, I think you have studied this aqueous solution. A solution contains water and other substances like aqueous solution of HCl. So basically, what is the meaning of this? There will be HCl and water. There is a mixture of water and HCl. There is one more thing, vitreous humor. So basically, vitreous humor is a liquid filled in this space, the space between the eye lens and the retina. Vitreous humor. Vitreous humor. So the space between eye lens and retina, eye lens and retina is filled with a transparent jelly like substance called vitreous humor. Azaan, have you seen the hair gel?
Yes, sir.
So basically, you can relate this vitreous humor with that hair gel. So basically, it will be like a jelly means type of hair gel thing. Okay, and hair gel is also transparent, means we can see through that air gel. Okay, transparent. Uh, so so basically, you can say that this uh, space between the eye lens and the retina is filled with a substance, jelly-like substance, and that substance is transparent. What is the meaning of a transparent? Means you can uh, see the object through that. Okay, this glass is the transparent. This lens is the transparent. That is why I am able to see through this lens. So there is one more thing, optic nerve. So optic nerve. So So what is optic nerve? This is the optic nerve. This is the optic nerve. What is the use of the optic nerve? The electrical signals are sent to brain through this optical nerve. Okay. Like electricity is sent to something or to the laptop. This is the laptop, and the plug of the laptop is attached with the circuit. Basically, from that circuit, from that source of power, the current is flowing through the wire. So basically, you can compare the optic nerve is like a wire in which the electrical signal propagates. Okay. So what is the optic nerve? This optic nerve connects the retina to brain, connects the retina to brain. Okay, connect the retina to brain and carry electrical signals to brain. And from where we get the electrical signal? Because see here, this due to this cornea and this eye lens, image is formed on the retina, and retina have the light sensitive cell. And what is the function of the light sensitive cell? To convert the electrical, to convert the image, that is forming on the retina into the electrical signal, and those electrical signals are sent to the brain through this optical nerve. Basically, electrical signal is a type of the electrical energy, you can say. So I am not going in that detail. Basically, this much is enough for you. Okay, Azaan. So if you have any doubt regarding this, so you can ask me. Any question? Okay, no question. So write down. In the last class, we have written this part. Okay, so now you can write down this. Azaan, are you writing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Write down fast.
Sir, scroll down, please.
completed?
No, sir. 1 minute.
Okay.
Sir, scroll down.
Okay. So now we will discuss the working of human eye. Working of human eye. Okay. So see the working of human eye. How the human eye works. So basically, suppose this is the object and this is the human eye. This is the human eye we know. And what happened? I have told you the object is a source of light. So there will be the light from this object. So there will be the light rays from this object, and light rays will enter into the eye through this cornea. But the outer surface of the cornea is convex. So it will behave as a convex lens. Okay, it will behave as a convex lens. So outer surface of the cornea is convex. So what happens? Due to that, there will be some refraction of light. There will be some refraction of light here. So after the refraction, the light enters and into the pupil, enters into the pupil, and enters into the pupil, and the size of the pupil is adjusted by the iris. The size of the pupil is adjusted by the iris. So iris uh, adjusted the size of the pupil according to the intensity of the light. If the intensity of the light is more, then iris reduces the size of the pupil. If the intensity of the light is less, then iris increases the size of the pupil so that more light can enter. So basically, light enters into the pupil. Okay, and from this pupil, the light will fall on this lens. Okay, light will fall on this lens, and this lens is eye lens, and this is a convex also. So the final conversion, the final converging of the light rays from this object will be done by this eye lens. So basically this eye lens will form the image of this object on the retina. Okay, and these are the ciliary muscles. Basically ciliary muscles are used to change the shape and the size of the eye lens so as to increase and decrease the converging and the diverging power of the eye lens. Okay, so basically due to this eye lens, uh, final conversion will take place. Okay, and after the final conversion, the image will formed and retina. And now retina have the light sensitive cell, rods and cones. When image is formed on retina, light sensitive cell gets activated, and those light sensitive cells converted the optical image, converted the image into the electrical signal, and those electrical signals are sent it to our brain through the optic nerve, and our brain processes those signals, and due to that we are able to see this object. Basically at retina the image is formed रियल एंड इन्वर्टेड, उल्टी इमेज बनती है रेटिना पे. ओके, ये ऑब्जेक्ट है, इसकी उल्टी इमेज बनेगी. जैसे कि ये पेन है इस तरीके से, और अगर मैं मेरी आई पे जो रेटिना है वहां पे जो इमेज बनेगी वो इस तरीके की इमेज बनेगी उल्टी. बट होता क्या है, आवर ब्रेन प्रोसेसेस दैट इमेज इनटू इरेक्ट इमेज. ओके, सो दिस इज द वर्किंग ऑफ द ह्यूमन आई, एंड आई हैव ऑलरेडी रिटन द थ्योरी. So you have to just write this. So write down the working of the human eye. I have already explained you what is the working of the human eye. If in examination they are asking write the working of the human eye, so I think this is the best explanation for that. Write down, Azaan, fast. Once again, I will explain you what is the working of human eye. I will explain it once again.
Done, sir.
Done. Okay, very good. So once again, I am explaining. Okay. So what happens? This is your cornea. What happens? This is your cornea, and here is your object. Suppose this is your object. Okay, object, and this eye. This is the eye. So this object is a source of light. So from this object, light rays will enter the eye through the cornea, and the outer surface of the cornea is convex. So some refraction of light or converging of light will takes place. Okay, converging of light, converge, converging of light rays will takes place. Okay, and after that the light will enter, that converging light will enter to the pupil, and I have told you the size of the pupil is reduced or increased by the iris according to the intensity of the light. Okay, after that the light falls on this eye lens, and eye lens is a convex lens, and convex lens is a converging lens, and lens also produces the image. So this lens will produces the image of this object at retina. So image is formed on at retina for the normal eye. So there are some defects also in the eye. If there are some defects, then in that case the image will not formed on the retina. Either the image will form behind the retina and in front of the retina. We will discuss when we will discuss the eye defect. So basically here finally image is formed on retina. Retina has light sensitive cell, rods and cones. These rods and cones converted the image into the electrical signal, converted the image into the electrical signal, and those electrical signals are sent to brain through this optic nerve, through this optic nerve, and then the processing in our brain starts, and we are able to get the erect image of the object. Okay, basically in reality at retina inverted image is formed, but due to the processing of our brain we get the erect image. After that we will discuss the power of accommodation, and before the power of accommodation you should know what is distant object, what is distant object or far object or nearby object. Distant object means an object which is very far from your eye. Okay, Kedan.
Yes, sir. You can continue.
Okay, Azan. See, distant object is like sun. Sun is a distant object. So remember the point, from the distant or object rays uh, are parallel. Okay. So for example, sun for us is a distant object. Okay. This is sun. So parallel rays from a distant object. Okay. The light rays from a distant object are parallel. Very, very important point. So light rays from a distant object are parallel. And what is the example of distant object? A sun. Sun is the example of distant object. I have told you many times. Sun is very very far from us, at a distance, very large distance from us. So I say that sun is at a distance of infinity. Infinity means very very large distance. Infinity, very very large distance. Now nearby objects. So for me, this mobile phone is a nearby object. And remember, from the nearby object, light rays are converging light rays. We get the converging light rays from the nearby object. So this is the nearby object. Suppose at this point A, and light rays, these are the light rays, and these are the converging light rays, diverging light rays. Sorry, from the nearby object we get the diverging light rays. So these are the diverging light rays from the nearby object. Okay, so light rays coming from the nearby object are diverging. So this point should be clear. So now what is the power of accommodation? So before power of accommodation, 2 points should be clear: distant object and nearby object. So what is distant object? A object from the distant object we get the parallel light rays. From the nearby object we get the diverging light rays. Okay. So basically, if I am watching this mobile phone, I am watching this mobile phone. So what is happening due to this mobile phone? The light rays entering into my eyes are diverging. This mobile phone is giving the diverging light rays, and those diverging light rays are entering into my eyes. So basically basically what happens, if I want to see a nearby object, so from the nearby object diverging rays will enter into my eyes. So basically, for the image formation in the eye, there will be the converging of the light rays. There will be the converging of the light rays, because in eye we have the converging lens. So to converge the diverging rays, the power of the eye lens should be very very large. The power of the eye lens should be large. Okay. So basically, if you want to see an object which is nearby, so the focal length of the eye lens becomes small. Okay. And if you want to see an object like sun and and an object which is very far from you, then in that case the focal length of your lens becomes large, because less power is required to converge the light rays. Okay. So from here we can introduce the concept of power of accommodation. So basically, power of accommodation is the ability to see the distant object, to see the distant object, and to see the nearby object by adjusting the focal length or the power of the convex lens in eye. Okay, by adjusting the focal length and the power in the eye lens. So this is known as the uh, power of accommodation. So power of accommodation means, suppose right now I am watching this phone. So there will be some different power of my eye lens. If I will try to watch at an object like moon, so the power of my eye lens, power of my eye lens will be less. Okay. Why less? Because from the moon, the rays entering into my eye are parallel, and for the uh, converging the parallel rays, less power is required by the lens. So basically, the power of accommodation is the ability of an eye to focus the distant object as well as the nearby object on retina by changing the focal length. You have to change the focal length na, to change the power of the lens. So this is known as the power of accommodation. Okay, so now you can see how we see the far object. How we see the far object. So this is the example. When the object is far from us, so what happens? So suppose here is some object. Here is sun, for example. Here is sun, very far from us, or you can say a person is here, which is very far from us, very far from us. Any object. This is our eye. So from this object, light rays will be parallel. Okay, light rays will be parallel, no problem. Enters into our eyes, and from here there will be some conversion because of this uh, cornea. There will be some conversion because this is the convex surface. Okay, and after that, the light will enter. Light will fall on the eye lens, and this eye lens will again converge the light rays, and there will be the image on the retina. Okay, so these are the ciliary muscles and these are the ligaments. In this case, the eye lens is thin. In this case, the eye lens is thin. When you want to see the far object, your eye lens becomes thin. Okay, so as to give the large focal length, so as to give the large focal length or smaller power. Okay, a smaller power. So I have told you power is equal to 1 upon f. So if lens becomes thin, focal length become large, power become small. From this formula, if this power become small, if this focal length become small, power of the lens become large. So if this focal length become large, then power becomes small. Okay, so basically I want to say that uh, for the vision of the far object, the focal length should be large of the eye length, but the power should be less. Okay, so small converging power required for converging parallel rays. Okay, so for converging the parallel rays, small power, converging power is required. Okay, and for converging the diverging rays, large power is required. Okay, large power is required. So this is the reason that that the eye lens becomes thin, or the power of the eye lens becomes small, or the focal length of the eye lens becomes large. Why? Because light rays entering into the eye are parallel from the distant object. Write down. Write down this point and this point. Completed, Azaan? This part and this part?
Yes, sir.
So write down this part also, this part. And rest of the part we will first again discuss in the next class, and then you will write that. Write down fast this. So basically, power of accommodation is the ability of an eye to focus the nearby object and to focus the distant object by changing the focal length. If your eye has to focus on an object which is nearby, then the focal length should be small, but the power should be large. But if your eye want to focus on an object which is very far, okay, so the focal length in that case becomes large, but the power of the lens becomes small. And basically, uh, which part of the eye is responsible for changing the power? Which part of the eye is, just tell me one answer. Which part of the eye is responsible for changing the focal length or the power of the eye lens?
Retina.
Beta, no retina. How you can say retina? Azan, you are a good student, and see, I have told you, na, ciliary muscles. By the action of the ciliary muscles, the focal length is changed. See here, ciliary muscle we have written. Focal length of the eye lens is changed by the action of the ciliary muscles. This is the formula. If the focal length will increase, power will decrease. You have to relate all the things. Okay, Azan. So revise your notes properly, and we will meet in the next class. And don't miss